Hello all and welcome to this hands-on lab. In our lab today, we will learn how to bulk upload data to Amazon Keyspaces using DSBulk. Couple of things to keep in mind before we proceed further ahead. AWS services used in this lab can incur charges. Hence, ensure that you clean up all resources after completing this lab. Prerequisites for our lab today is knowledge of Amazon Keyspaces. Hence, if you do not know what this service is all about, please refer to this overview tutorial. The link to the tutorial is mentioned right here at the bottom. Scenario for our lab today. You need to migrate data or copy data from a CSV file to Amazon Keyspaces. Now, there are several ways to do that, right? But in this tutorial, we will be using DSBulk to achieve this. Now, I have created a separate tutorial in which I had used cqlsh. Okay, we will be using this, but not to copy the data, just to verify the data and create this key space and the table. But to copy the data, we will be using DSBulk. Reference URLs. The first URL over here is the URL to the actual tutorial. Okay, so this is the original tutorial. I hope I have it opened right here. Sorry, this is a tutorial right here, and this is the URL to it. So keep this particular URL handy. You can copy several of your CQL commands, some configuration settings for DSBulk as well, right here, right? So you can actually copy all the settings from here as well. The second URL is the link to programmatic endpoints, right? So depending upon which region you are using, if you need the programmatic endpoint for Amazon Keyspaces, please refer to that particular link. Let me check if I have it open. Here it is. So these are the service endpoints for Amazon Keyspaces right here. You can see the URL, right? Programmatic endpoints. And depending upon which region you're using, you can copy the endpoint right from here. So I'm going to be using North Virginia, which is US East 1, and this is my endpoint for that. This is the Amazon Keyspaces endpoint. Along with that, you have a couple of download links. So this is the link to download DSBulk. This is for the certificate. And this final link over here is to download the CSV file. Now, if you actually go to the first step, I guess, over here in the prerequisites, is it here in the prerequisites or possibly in the, in the first step, step 1 of the original tutorial, you will see that a simple migration zip right here. If you right click, you can actually download the zip from right here as well. You can also copy the URL from here. In case you do not want to do that, the URL is mentioned over here for your convenience. I will have all of these reference URLs mentioned in the description of the video as well. This URL is basically URL to step 4 of the original tutorial, which is the config settings for DSBulk upload. So if you go here to step 4, you will actually see all the settings right here. You can pretty much just click on this little icon and copy all these settings, and of course, replace the whatever is necessary. It's marked in red over here, and you should be good to go. We will be going through all these steps, but I'm just showcasing to you what you need to do upfront. And finally, some of the troubleshooting links right here. So if you go back, the troubleshooting section, if you click on troubleshooting, it will basically get you to this particular section. Click around to see which all, issues are covered over here, right? And that should be pretty helpful to you as well. So keep these reference URLs handy, right? Some of them are download links, some of them are setting links. If you get stuck somewhere, then you refer to the troubleshooting links, right? Okay. Some of the lab notes I wanted to share with you before we proceed further ahead. These are some of the learnings that I have had And I wanted to share them with you because if you get stuck somewhere or if you get an error, sometimes it's good to just know that some of these combinations work or they don't work, right? So one of the first things that I noticed is that Python 3 does not work very well with Cassandra 40x or 3.11, that is 3.11. So if you are facing any issues, stop using Python 3, use Python 2.7.17. This version works pretty well. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to provision T2 micro, right? I'm trying to keep the cost on the lower side so that if you guys are practicing at home, you don't get a lot of charges. So we will be using T2 micro in this particular lab. But if you feel that it is working sluggish, it is slowing down, then go ahead and provision a larger instance like T2 large, right? Of course, if you provision a larger instance, charges will apply. Third point, I have modified my approach from the original tutorial to make this tutorial very simple, right? But you can still use the CQL statements from there. Some of the combinations that have been mentioned over there, I have modified that as well. So I will be using this particular combination, that is Cassandra 3.11.13, cqlsh 5.0.1, Java 1.8, and Python 2.7.17. And the reason why I'm using this particular combination of softwares, right, or packages, is because this particular combination works. So if you have just stumbled upon this video because you are getting a buckload of errors or issues or something is freezing or not moving and you really don't know why it's not working, try to use this particular combination, right? This combination works and we will see that it works. In the original tutorial, they have calculated the throughput capacity. You can calculate it if you would like. I am not going to calculate the throughput capacity for this particular lab. For production, yes, you can probably do that. For the lab, I'm only going to use 9 or 10 records, so I really don't need to calculate the throughput capacity. Again, if you encounter a lot of errors, please check the versions of your Python and cqlsh and your Java as well, right? And if you still face issues, then please refer to the troubleshooting URLs that I had mentioned earlier. So hopefully this helps someone. I have spent a lot of trying different combinations. And after spending that much amount of time, I have understood that this particular combination that I've mentioned over here on the screen works. Okay, so let us continue further ahead. Step 1. The first step that we will do is we will ensure that your user or whatever user you are using has access to Amazon Keyspaces service. Okay, so go to that user and add this particular existing policy. So let me switch. This is my IAM console. So this is my user that I have created, and this is just to showcase to you. So go to permissions, right? Attach existing policies, type Keyspaces, Keyspaces full access, next, add permissions, and this particular policy has been added successfully. So we have completed step 1. Step 2. Now we need to generate service-specific credentials for our user. So go to that very same user and then go to Security Credentials tab, scroll down and go to Credentials for Amazon Keyspaces, click on Generate Credentials, right? And click on Generate Credentials and then copy or download the username and password. Ensure that you copy it, okay? Because you will need these credentials at a later stage. So let's go back. This is Security Credentials. Scroll down, Generate Credentials, right? And now copy the username. I have a notepad handy. I'm going to copy my username and copy a password and my password. Keep these credentials handy. If you want, you can also download these credentials. and close. So I think these are our credentials right there. Okay, so we have completed step 2. Step 3. Now we will go ahead and provision a T2 micro instance. This is going to be an Ubuntu instance, Ubuntu 18.04, right? With a public IP and ports 22 and 9142 open. So let us go ahead and do that. So let me go to EC2. And remember that I'm mentioning over here to provision a T2 micro instance. But if the instance slows down or starts, behaving in a sluggish manner, just kill the instance and provision a T2 large instance, okay? So go to instances, launch instance, and we will give it a name like my EC2 lab, where this is going to be an Ubuntu instance. So select Ubuntu, click down on this drop down and select 18.04 right here. It's free tier eligible, right? Scroll down, instance type is T2 micro, select your key pair. This is my key pair. Network, I'm going to launch it in my default VPC, public IP is enabled. You want to create a new security group, or if you have an existing one, you can use that as well. And everything else looks good. Click on launch instance. So our instance has been launched successfully. Let us go and look at it. So this is our EC2 instance right here. This is my public IP, so I'm going to copy it and keep it handy, right? And this is our security group right here. Let us go ahead and look at our security group. Remember, we want ports 22 and 9142 open. So 22 is open. I'm just going to go ahead and open 9142 right now, right? I'm not going to worry about the security. And we have added another port, and our EC2 instance should be up and running. Okay, so our instance is up and running. So we have basically completed this step. So the next thing that we will do is we will go ahead and SSH and log in into our EC2 instance. This is the user, right? Ubuntu. And then we will switch to the root user and run an update. So let us do that. So my putty is right here. Copy the IP address. I'm going to increase the font size. And then go to SSH, authorization, browse. Select your private key, open. So the user is Ubuntu. And we have successfully logged in. So let me clear the screen. Remember, we need to switch to the root user. This is the command for that. So sudo su. And then we have to run an update. So apt-get update, right? Enter. And it's updating right now. So while it updates, the next thing that we need to do is we need to check the version of Java that is installed on this particular EC2 instance. Whether it's installed or not, we will figure it out, but we need to check the version for Java, as well as we need to check the version for Python. So let us go ahead and do that. So updates have completed. Clear the screen. Say Java -version. So Java is not there. right? So basically this is the command right here to install Java 1.8. So you can actually just copy it, right click, enter, say yes, and it's installing Java. Hopefully it's done fast. Okay, so it looks like the installation has completed. Clear the screen. And now let us check the version for Java. It's 1.8. The next thing that we will do is we will check the version for Python. So it's going to be Python -- version. Again, Python 3 is installed. I already told you that Python 3 does not work very well. What we want to do is install Python 2.7.17, right? And you can actually do that by just running this particular command. So right click, and then the installation will begin. And it's currently installing Python. Clear the screen. Installation has completed. And now let us check the version for Python. There it is. So we have the right version for both Java and Python. So let us continue further ahead. We have successfully completed step 3. Step 4. Now we need to go ahead and download Cassandra 3.11. And this is the URL for that. Of course, this URL is mentioned in your download links. What you need to do is take that particular URL, right? Prepend curl and append this pipe tar-xz, right? This is basically to untar the file, and this is to download the file. So we'll download the file and then untar the file. So let me go and actually copy this particular command, right? So right here, paste it right there, hit enter, and it's been downloaded successfully. Now what we need to do is we need to change our directory to this particular directory, that is cd Apache Cassandra 3.11.13/bin. So just copy this command from here and hit enter. Clear the screen, right? And now we need to check the version for cqlsh. So paste it right there, hit enter, and the version is 5.0.1. So remember, we have Cassandra 3.11.13, cqlsh 5.0.1, Python 2.7.17, and Java 1.8.0. So we have all the 4 softwares installed correctly with the right versions. And as I said, this particular combination works. So let us now continue further ahead. So we've completed step 4. Step 5. In step 5, we will create a JKS trust store. So again, we will download our certificate, right? And then we will basically set this environment variable. This is for cqlsh. And finally, we will go ahead and create the trust store. So again, this particular URL is mentioned in your download links. Take the URL, prepend it with curl, append -o. So let me go here, copy this particular URL, right? I'm going to clear the screen, paste it right there, hit enter. So I hope that our cert has been downloaded. So let us do ls -l, and there it is, right here, right? Now we need to get the full path of this particular cert. And the command to get the full path is read link. So I'm going to copy that particular command from here and then clear the screen, paste it right there. And this is the full or the absolute path to our cert. So just right click and copy it, right? So just clear the screen right now. But before that, I need to copy and save it somewhere here. So this is the absolute path to my certificate. Again, clear the screen, right? So we have completed these two steps. Now we need to set this environment variable. So we will say export, right? SSL underscore cert file equal to, and that path right here. So as you see, it's executed and our environment variable, that is SSL underscore cert file, has been set successfully. Now, how do you verify if it has been set successfully? You use the command echo, right? So echo space dollar curly brace SSL, where is L underscore cert file. And basically it echoes the entire path right here. So that means our environment variable has been set successfully. So clear the screen. So we have completed these two steps. Now we need to go ahead and create our trust store file. So copy these commands, right? And actually these commands will also be available in your tutorial as well. If you go back over here and in one of the steps over here, you will basically see that these commands that I am showing to you over there are mentioned over here as well. That is to create the trust store file, right? So just look for them and you'll find exactly where they are as well. But I'm just going to continue further ahead right now. It's a pretty straightforward command, right? If you're not able to find it, just pause the video and type it out. It's as simple as that. So paste it right there and hit enter. And then again, this is the key tool file right here. So copy this command and paste it right here. Hit enter. It will basically ask you to provide a password. Now, when you provide the password, remember to basically remember the password. Okay, so ensure that you give a simple password. So I'm going to give it a simple password like AWS 123. Enter. AWS 123. Enter. And trust this certificate. Say yes. And your certificate has been added to the key store. Most importantly, AWS 123. That is my cert password. Remember, you have to keep this password handy, copy it, right? And if you're someone like me who does not remember passwords, simple, type it out and keep it handy. Because if you lose this password, you're stuck. And keep a simple password for the lab. So we have basically completed this particular step, and with that, step 5. Step 6. Now we need to go ahead and download and unzip our data file, right? So let us go ahead and basically download this file. Again, the link to this particular data file is mentioned in your reference links, right? This is the curl command. And output, you can give any name that you like, right? I have given the name as data.zip. You can give any name that you like. So let us go ahead and copy that particular command. Right, so I'm going to clear the screen. Hit enter. And our file should have been downloaded. So if you do ls-l, there is data.zip right there. Now it's a zip file and you need to unzip it. So what we need to do is we need to install Unzip. So again, clear the screen. Apt install Unzip, right? And it seems it has been installed successfully. And now we can unzip our data file. So unzip data zip. Okay, so it seems unzip was successful and our CSV file was extracted successfully. That is our CSV file right there, right? So basically, we completed all of these steps. It's very simple and straightforward. If you want, you can actually go ahead and review the structure of your CSV file and also ensure that it contains some sample data. Now, how do you do that, right? So clear the screen, say VI, and then key spaces hyphen sample, sorry, underscore, not hyphen, table dot CSV. And there is your CSV file. And you do have 9 records in this particular file. As you see, the first line over here is the header or the column names, and then you have 9 records after that. So we are going to hit on escape, colon, small q, exclamation, and exit out of this particular file. So do not make any changes to that file, just leave it as it is, right? Okay, so we have completed step 6. Step 7. First, you need to ensure that you change your directory to Apache Cassandra 3.11.13/bin, right? And then we will try and connect to Amazon Keyspaces using cqlsh. Now, in our case, we are already over there, right? So which is good. So what we need to do is we need to basically go ahead and connect to Amazon Keyspaces. So basically, this is the command for it. Let me copy the command, right? This is a pretty straightforward command. Again, it will be available as part of your tutorial as well, right? If not, it's not a complicated command, so you can easily type it out as well. So remember, what we need over here is the Cassandra endpoint for your region. So I am in which region? I'm in North Virginia right now. I'm going to stick to it, right? And I want to use basically the Keyspaces in this particular region. So I'm going to go here, copy this, right? So this is my region endpoint for Keyspaces right here. So copy that particular endpoint and then go back and mention it right here. So paste it there. We need to use a service name. So this is a service name. And our service password. So this is our service password right there. So copy this particular command, right? And we will try to execute it. So paste, hit enter. And there you are, connected to Amazon Keyspaces. Now, if you face errors in this particular step, which a lot of people do, then you need to first check that port 9142 is open. You need to check your cqlsh version. Remember, I gave you the magic combination that works. It should be 5.0.1. Check your Cassandra version as well. This particular version 3.11 works very well with Amazon Keyspaces. So, and also check your Python version, right? Python 3 sometimes works, but sometimes it gives errors as well. But Python 2.7.17 works very well. So if everything is correct, it will work very smoothly and you will be connected to Amazon Keyspaces in no time. So we have basically completed this step. Step 8. In step 8, we need to create and verify our keyspace. Of course, again, these commands are available in your tutorial as well, right? So if you want to kind of scroll down and copy your Keyspace command from here. Just click over there and then come back and paste it, hit enter. And if you want to verify, the command to verify whether your Keyspace has created successfully or not is this right here. So copy, paste, and there is your Keyspace catalog. So your Keyspace has been created successfully. I'm going to clear the screen, right? And we have basically completed step 8. In step 9, we will create and verify our table. Again, the command to create your table is right here. Now I have made one change from this original tutorial. If you see in the original tutorial, you have year and then award. And in the primary key also you have year and award. What I have done is I couldn't get that combination working. I was getting some errors. So I've kind of flipped them. I have made it award and year. And in primary key also I've made it award and year. So if you face issues, just flip it, or in simple words, just copy the command and flip these two columns and ensure that you change the primary key as well, right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my create table command. First copy it in Notepad to ensure there are no special characters or anything that I'm taking along with me. Copy this, paste it right here, hit enter, and our table is created successfully. Now, how do we check whether our table has been created? Again, this is the command, the select command, right? So this is your command to check whether your table has been created successfully. Ensure that the quotes are correct, right? And copy this particular select command. Paste it right here, hit enter, and there's your table. So your table was created successfully. I'm going to clear the screen. So we have basically created a table and verified it successfully. So we basically created a table and verified it. Now, if you want to verify your table structure, you can use this particular command, right? So I'm not going to do this, but if you want to go ahead and do it, I'm sharing the command with you. So with this, we have completed step 9. Step 10. Now we need to download and install DSBulk. Again, this particular URL is mentioned in your download links. Just prepend it with curl hyphen capital OL and you should be good. So let me go ahead and copy that command, right? So it's right here. First, I need to ensure that it exit out of Keyspaces. I'm going to do that. And I'm back to my Ubuntu machine. So that is good. And I'm going to copy this particular command right here and hit enter. And it's downloading. It seems that it has been downloaded successfully, right? And then we need to basically unpack or untar this file. So let's do that. And finally, we need to set our export path. I'm going to copy this, right? And clear the screen and paste it right there. So we have basically downloaded it and unpacked our tar file with these particular set of commands. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create a configuration file for DSBulk. And the name of that configuration file is going to be DSBulk_keyspaces.conf. So this is the name of that file. So let us go ahead and do that. So it's going to be VI. Remember, it is DSBulk underscore keyspaces.com. This is the name of the file. Hit enter. So we have created this particular file and completed step 10. In step 11, we need to configure settings for DSBulk. And these are all the settings. Now don't go crazy, right? This is the URL for that. Again, this is mentioned in your reference URLs. And if you don't want to go to the reference URL, the easiest thing that you can do is go to step 4, go to configure DSBulk settings, and the settings are right here. So just copy them from here, right? Go back to your notepad and paste it right here. So the first thing that you have here is your region. So remember, I am in US East 1. So I'm going to copy my region. So my Cassandra region is right here. Paste that. I need to give my service name. So this is my service name. Right, so I'm actually going to remove some of this information. Okay, so let me copy my service name. This is my service username right here. And my service password. This is my service password. Paste it right there. Again, ensure that your local data center, this is similar to your region. So put 1 and then path to Cassandra trust store. Remember, in my case, my trust store is right where I'm executed in Apache Cassandra bin folder. So where this particular file has been created as well. That is the conf file. So I'm going to remove this and the dot, right? Now you need to give your trust store password, which is this one. Remember, we had given that cert pass. So give your trust store, the key store password right there, right? Paste it. And I think we have substituted all the required variables. So let's copy this, right? Go back, hit insert, right click and paste, escape, colon, WQ, hit enter. And a file has been created successfully, right? So these are all the settings. We copied the file from this location. We replaced our key point, our username, password. Again, we ensure that our region is correct. We checked the path to our Cassandra trust store or the key store. And we also gave our store password. So we made all the changes and we basically completed step 11. Step 12. So if everything that we have done so far is right, then the final step is to basically copy data from a CSV file using DSBulk to our Amazon Keyspaces table. And this is the command to do that, right? So let me copy the command. So this is the command to do that. Let me paste the command right here, right? So we have DSBulk load, and then we have Amazon Keyspaces. That's a conf file. This is the CSV file that we have downloaded, which is in the very same location. Header is true in a CSV file. And it needs to copy the data to key spaces called as catalog and a table called as book underscore awards. So I'm going to get everything in one line over here. and then copy this entire command. Clear the screen and paste it right here. Hit enter. Okay, so it's basically telling us that it has uploaded a total of 9 records, 0 records failed. So let us see if these records have been copied over successfully. So what we are going to do now is we are going to again use cqlsh, right, to connect to Amazon Keyspaces and check our table. So I'm going to clear the screen. Paste this command right there. This is the same command that we used earlier. Hit enter. We are connected to Keyspaces. And then over here, if I say select star from catalog dot book underscore awards colon, hit enter, and there are those 9 records. So our data has been copied over successfully, right, from a CSV file to Amazon Keyspaces using DSBulk. And with that, we have completed step 12 successfully, right? So I hope that this particular tutorial was helpful, right? So I had created a tutorial earlier to bulk upload data using cqlsh. That's one way of doing it, right? The other way of doing the very same thing is using the DSBulk upload utility as well. So depending upon whichever you feel is easy and convenient for you, you can use that. I would suggest that you try out both the utilities, right? So this is it from me today. I hope this was helpful, and do post your comments and your experiences. And I will see you shortly in some other video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.